Nursing students, time to talk. Welcome to the Real Talk School of Nursing Podcast, Season 4, Episode 7. I am your good and faithful host, Michael Smith. Thank you for continuing to subscribe to the show. You can support the show directly on our Patreon account at www.patreon.com/realtalknursing and gain patron benefits such as early content, shoutouts, special swag, and more. Write into the show at realtalknursing@gmail.com or use Facebook Messenger or contact us through Instagram or Twitter to share your experiences, ask questions, and give feedback. Thank you for supporting our friends, affiliates, and sponsors. Thank you to everyone who started following us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. More listeners means more and better shows. Make sure to share the episode with classmates and especially underclassmen and cohorts. Let's give a hand up to those who are coming behind us and welcome them to our community of fun, engaged, and supportive nursing students and nurses. Don't forget to reach out and tell us if you have any announcements for graduations, good grades, difficult tests, friends you want to help congratulate, and your announcement will be featured on the show. If you like the show, the Real Talk School of Nursing podcast is available on iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Libsyn Web Player, Stitcher, YouTube, Spotify, and SoundCloud. So, go to wherever you download podcasts, subscribe, rate us, review us, write into the show, and smash that subscribe button. Remember to leave only 5-star reviews because that's the only ratings that count to get us noticed by more nursing students. I want you to be part of this crazy nursing school journey. Stay tuned at the end of the episode to hear details on how to win one of 3 Yeti coolers. Today, I have guest Michelle Gray with us. She is known as the Foodie Queen and has an amazing website, foodiequeen.com. That's only with an I. And she has an upgraded take on the old recipe book. Welcome, Michelle Gray. So first I want to say, I think you have an incredible family. I had your sister, as you know, Coletta Hewitt, on the show in November for episode 69 or season 3, episode 21. And she's one of my favorite interviews that I've done. And her book, The Pie Letters, was amazing. And I'll shout out to Coletta and say thank you to her for helping put this interview together. And I'm very grateful, and I thank you so much for your time. So I gotta ask, what is it like at family functions? Do you and your family just like starve yourself for days in preparation for meals, you know, between your food and Coletta's pies? Like, how do you, what are family functions like?
I don't know. We just we just have fun, and we just Coletta has stuff that she likes to cook, and I have a bunch of stuff. And Glenn said one time that he goes, "I'd love to have Michelle's recipe box." So we just it'll be challenging. Like I was saying earlier, it'll be challenging when Coletta's here because she wants to cook some stuff, but I want her to help me with some new recipes. Like I have one cooking right now upstairs, but I want her to help me with some new recipes. But she needs to remember that I have to stay within the guidelines and have it low-cal and no carbs and stuff like that. So it'll be challenging because I know she'll be like, "Oh, well, let's just put this in." I'm like, no.
I think having you two in the same room would be God, I'd love to be a fly on the wall.
Yeah.
I think you two would be just a riot to have. And for the listening audience, unfortunately, you don't get to hear all the conversations that went on before all the interviews, but you really do seem like you have an amazing, very resilient family, and you guys have been through so much and come out on the other side better because of the adversity that you dealt with, and I think you guys are both so driven in different ways, in very, very different ways, but you guys are both so driven. And again, I'm in awe of both of you.
Well, that's nice, but I think more people should look at it that way as far as learning from the experiences that you've gone through and trying to work through them and to help others and whatnot, because otherwise you just get stuck in that rut.
I agree.
Don't you think?
I think that that advice could be applied to many nursing students around. It says nursing school is, I I think, having been through a normal degree program, and been exposed to several other kinds of programs. Nursing school is a very difficult school to get into, or a difficult program to get into, and a very difficult program to stay in, because it's arduous and it's stressful and it's high
Mm-hmm.
stakes, and it can be very challenging, not just in school but on your life, because you have to dedicate so much of it to your life, and you can fold or you can become a hero. I mean, that's how it is, and that adversity that you're going to face can make you stronger, or you can fold to it. And I just don't think folding is an option. And uh, I think if more people looked at facing adversity as a way to build strength, I don't know. Like I have to think that we'd have a lot of very strong people, and especially very strong people coming out of nursing school.
Yeah. Well, I just what all you said is exactly with my husband with being a fireman. Exactly the same thing. He has to deal with a lot of stuff, and if you were to just cave and let that all affect you, it would it wouldn't be good. So you need to just you need to learn to deal with it, and you need to learn to help others.
So I do want to say, like, tell your husband thanks. I appreciate it. I love seeing the firefighters when they come in, and those guys are all pretty high speed, pretty awesome people. And my neighbor just got promoted to fire captain, so shout out to him. But yeah, no, I thank you to your husband. So let's kind of pull back a little bit. So I've been on the page. Your like the pictures of your food look amazing.
Oh, those
So
are just off my phone.
um, I
I
I
always just before I eat, try it and stuff. I always make sure I take a bunch of pictures and then edit the ones I want. But those are just off my phone.
so I think when you have a really good looking subject, I think it doesn't matter what the camera is. and the food looks really, really good, and I'm very appreciative of the fact that I can see what the food is supposed to look like before I start cooking it or something like that. So tell me.
And all of those photos are like you have photos like that on the recipe binders. So when you get your recipe, when people order your recipes and stuff, that's what they get. They get photos and they get the full instructions.
So tell me, so how is your approach to the, because I don't want to call it a recipe book, because it's not a recipe book, it's a recipe binder. So tell me how your approach is different from like a normal cookbook that the Betty Crocker book that everybody has, every family has 30 of them, sitting collecting dust inside their cupboard somewhere. So how is your approach different?
Well, first of all, it's all the recipes are going to be low carb and low sugar. So it's going to be, in a sense, it'll be kind of like keto,
Okay.
you might say. So it's going to it's great for weight loss, but it doesn't strictly need to be for weight loss because if like I've got a recipe cooking right now, it's what is it? Crock pot buffalo chicken chili, and I'm not going to add any beans or anything like that because that would increase the carb level.
Mm-hmm.
But person who is not worried about that, then they could just add stuff. But it's all my recipes differ from um, Betty Crocker and stuff. They're going to be low sugar and low carb.
Or at least
And
conscious of
there's
that kind
some
of thing.
things that I could find off of Betty Crocker or a family recipe and stuff. And then what I do is I just go in there and then I just convert it into something that's going to be what we call compliant for in the scale of making it low carb and low sugar.
Okay.
And within a certain amount of calories.
So for so how, like, what's the inspiration behind this? So how did the idea of this kind of come about?
Yeah, so the inspiration, that's why, you know, with me being a health coach, one of the meals through the day is a lean and green,
Okay.
which is what my recipes are. It's a piece of protein, which is a leaner or a leanest, and it's 3 servings of green. So that's why we call it a lean and green. So you're having that meal once a day. And so when I lost 20 pounds on program, and I would have a lean and green, and then I would compile a bunch of recipes, and I'd have them in a recipe binder. And at one point on my own personal page, I had showed my recipe binder by just saying, "Oh, look at what, I have all these recipes. So when you say there's not much to eat on plan, that is actually incorrect. Look at all these recipes I have." And I had gobs of people say, "Oh my God, I want that. How much? Tell me, I'll buy it." And I went kicking and screaming, and I'm like, "No, I don't want to do that." And finally I just caved, and I says, "Okay, fine, I'll do it." And so I've worked really hard by making sure that I had, the website up and everything exactly the way I wanted to have it before I put it out there. And everyone is very appreciative. I have people all the time that text me or call me and say, "You know what, you've saved me," because I was going to quit because it was too challenging to try to figure out a recipe, and you have done all the hard work for me.
So why a binder? Because like I don't want to get admonished again for calling it a cookbook. So why a binder versus a book?
Well, the binder instead of a book is because I'm constantly coming out with new recipe sets.
Okay.
So I wanted it to be a binder because then people can add to it.
Okay.
You get everything I send you except for the binder. That a person, that's the only thing that they would have to purchase to be a binder. But most people, especially when you have kids, have a gazillion binders at home. So that's why I did a binder, because I want people to be able to, if they want to get another set, they can add to it. If you did a book, then you would just basically have another book, then another book, and this way it's all in one area. And also, if you have family recipes or something like that, then you could just add it to the recipe binder. Everything's in a protective sheet, which I like, because then in a binder versus a book, you could just take out that recipe, take it to the kitchen, and have it there, and you could, make your recipe right there versus having the whole entire book. Or like I was saying to you earlier, where you could take it to the store. You could clip out your recipe and just take it to the store and have all the ingredients right there, so you don't have to worry about it.
But one of the things that looking through some of the recipes, like, you really seem to simplify the ingredient list. Because if I go through some of the recipe books that I have sitting on a shelf inside my kitchen, uh, it seems like I literally would for one meal I would have to go grocery shopping for very specific items that I may not, for a common person like me, may not have. I don't know. I have paprika, but but kind of the non everyday kind of ingredients, and it seems like you really simplify things a little bit.
Well, yeah, because people don't have time, right? Everyone is super busy, and I personally hate. So, I mean, I do what I want to do, and if people want to cook it, that's great. If they don't, then that's great too. But I personally don't like to have a cookbook where you got 15, 20, 30 different items that you have, like you said, that you have to get, and a lot of them you don't even have, so you have to go buy them. You'll probably never use them again. Or you have instructions that are 2 pages long. That's why all of my recipes I format, and I make sure that they all fit on one page, on one side, not 2 sides, but one side, because I want to make it easy for people to do.
So, how did you? I understand that you inherited your father's recipes. How did did because you're trying to stay low carb, low sugar. You're trying to be conscious of that kind of thing. So, a lot of this stuff came from him. Like, what's the transition between the two?
No, there is no transition. It's just that I guess I brought up Dad's recipes just because of me putting all the recipes in protective sheets, just
Okay.
because my dad's recipes, they would get, when I look at them, they're all corroded just because of all the grease and everything like that, where when all my recipes are in protective sheets, so you could easily clip it in the binder, but that also keeps the recipes clean themselves. um, I all the recipes are ones that I have created, so they're not, or they might be an old family recipe that I've basically converted to make it where it's low carb and low sugar
Okay.
and low calorie.
Okay. So, where does your so outside of the formative years of your life where you were a dough Sherpa, over in the bakery, Coletta talks about working in the bakery and stuff like that a lot. You're the oldest, right?
No, I'm the middle.
You're the middle. Sorry.
Same as you.
Yeah. We're the cool ones.
Yeah.
But so, how does your like talk to me about your coaching a little bit? Like where's the because you're not just some really cool person who just has this food idea that popped out of her head 20 years ago and started making a cooking recipe. Like you have you're an actual you're a diet coach. You do this for a living. It's part of your education, and the recipe book grew from that, right?
Right. So, yeah, it just, like I was saying, I had 20 pounds to lose. And so I was on a program that utilizes fuelings, which are basically, like a shake or mashed potatoes or a bar or whatever. And then we have those. There's a whole bunch of different ones, and we have those 5 times a day. And then we would have the lean and green. And so, Dr. Anderson is the one who created the program, and it's been around for a long time, and it's formulated to work in a certain way where you're eating every 2.5 to 3 hours and having a small meal. So that's what the fuelings you're having 5 times a day, and then the one lean and green.
Okay. Because like one of the challenges that nurses and nursing students face a lot is that we're constantly moving. So if I'm just in a normal shift, there's always candy or donuts or baked goods of some sort that are completely delicious and very tempting and very unhealthy. but they're always on the floor, and literally the only time that you really have is to grab something, and you're literally chewing it, and then you stand outside the door for a minute, or just long enough to finish chewing and swallow, and then you go into a room. And so that I feel like a small meal or something that you can kind of shovel into your mouth, would be more beneficial mentally than saying, okay, I need to sit down and have a meal in the middle of my shift. So if I can kind of make small things or something like that to go along with the shift, I think that would be easier. And then from a student's perspective, when I was, when I'm in school, I lived 90 minutes from school, and that drive took out so much time, and I was choosing convenience over health. And and I'm getting back to that. I'm getting that part of my life a little bit more organized again. But it's so easy. It's just so easy to eat like trash as a nursing student and as a busy nurse. So.
But that's everywhere. I mean, why do you think the fast food joints are so popular, but they're so bad? Because it's so quick and easy to grab.
It is. It's. I talk about it in a previous podcast because it's part of it is the lack of planning, and that's completely my fault. It's I've got this coming up, and so I spend all day doing this and studying, and I leave 5 minutes before, I leave the minute that I have to in order to get to class on time, and it took me 90 minutes to drive to class, or I mean, it doesn't even have to be that long of a drive, but you have to, but students who are in nursing school have to dedicate and sacrifice so much of their personal life just to make sure that they can get through nursing school, because I mean, it can really be touch and go for a lot of school. And if you do really badly on a quiz, it's really easy to go back and be like, oh, I shouldn't have spent all that time doing this instead of studying, or whatever. So it's a really easy thing to just say, I just stopped, and in 2 minutes I could just stop and get a McDonald's or whatever else. But
Yeah,
how
but that's
can
not doing
how
you
can
any good.
right?
I mean, we talked about that. 90% of success or failure is preparation. So if you were to have a meal like mine that are, you know, like today with this recipe I'm making, it's 6 servings. So if I was home all by myself, then that would be 6 meals right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I could probably put it in the freezer too, in individual dishes. So you have to just take the time that you do have at home, and prepare and think ahead of time.
I think it's like I bought, because I do a little bit more meal prep, or I do a lot more meal prep now than I did in nursing school. But it would have been really helpful to just say, okay, on Sunday, I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna allocate this amount of time. After the kids are in bed. If you have kids like I do, and just say, okay, I'm gonna make 2 kinds of meals. That'll be X number of servings, so I'm not eating the same thing for 3 days, because that can be boring for a lot of people. But make 2 kinds of meals, and then my week is done, and then I've got it, and that just seems like it's like that would be so beneficial to people like nurses and healthcare employees and nursing students and stuff like that. So.
Well, I tell that to my clients all the time. I says, I know that you've got a busy schedule. They're just like, I just don't have time. I'm too busy. And I'm like, you have some time. You just need to mark out some time during the week when you're not at work, or that you have some free time where you could do exactly what you said, where you can make a couple of meals and stuff, and then have them all ready, all divided out right there in your fridge, so they're all ready to go.
Because
I mean, in essence, it really saves you a lot of time.
And
money if you do it that way.
Oh, well, I have been searching. So one of the reasons that I wanted to talk to you about this is because I've been searching for months for a meal delivery service, where they give you like I had this Hungry Root thing, and they sent me food, but it required all this preparation, and it was a bunch of really weird ingredients that I was like, I don't know what to do with this. Mm-hmm. But even that was too complicated, and it was so I have the dishes and I have all that stuff, but I think where nursing students and busy professionals of any type, where we get stuck is, we're trying to make meals every single day, and versus saying, okay, I'm going to block off an hour or 2 hours or whatever, and say I can make all my meals for a week in a 2-hour time period or a 3-hour time period, versus taking 5 or 10 hours over the week making individual meals, from home, or whatever. If you have kids, you got to make a meal, every time for breakfast and dinner. It's half hour or hour, so you're taking 90 minutes per day, 7 days a week, however many hours that is, versus going, okay, well, at least for my meals on the go stuff, I can do meal prep, take 2 hours out of a Sunday or something like that, and make all this food, and I'm good for the week.
Yeah.
And that just seems so smart to me.
Yeah, and not even not just my recipes, but all the other stuff that you do throughout the day. Like if you were to boil a bunch of eggs and have hard-boiled eggs all ready to go, or if you were to cut up a bunch of fruit and vegetables and have those in containers in the fridge, so all you had to do was just put it in a baggie. All of that stuff, if you just take that time, during the week, plan a day and take an hour or two, whatever it takes, and get all that stuff done. It would really save you a lot of time. And when you really look at the amount of money that people spend when they're going out all the time, it's amazing on how much you would spend doing that. And it's not really to your benefit, calorie-wise.
So are you saying that we need to be patient and have some forethought?
Yeah, my motto is, Lord, give me patience, and could you hurry it up?
No
That's
kidding.
my motto.
Oh my gosh. Patience. What is that? Who even has time for that? Pi is P-I-E. Patience in everything. It's a simple yet difficult, yet powerful thing to learn. Think about the last time you were impatient. What came of it? How patient am I with others? How patient am I with myself? How patient and kind am I with the trials and unexpected turns in life? Am I patient and fully aware of the blessings of each day? I've been given a gift, be it fruit or life. It's up to me to choose how to use it. This is a book of short essays on life through something as simple as pi. Here's Coletta reading Piology 101.
Piology 101, the synchronicity of pi in life. How awesome to ponder how our Creator has put our individual ingredients so carefully together. Yet we get to choose our finishing touches and the temperature settings of the day. Sometimes we're hot, sometimes we're not. Every day is spent forming our own creation of self. Some days we also form a pie. Our ingredients of the day can be mixed up, nutty and complicated, or just sweetly simple. Fruits grown out of even the best soil and conditions may become bruised, but even imperfect fruit can become a pie to savor. Life, as imperfect as it may be, has a multitude of savory and sweet bites in each new day. Pie in life, filled to the brim with the fillings of our choice, oozing and bubbling over, and just so beautifully messy. Pie in life, any pie or day can end in failure and be perfected on the next. Pie in life, presented in pieces and are just what is left over, or sometimes well presented, well-rounded as a whole. Pie in life are made up of a beautiful variety of spices and different tastes. Pie in life, overworking can make it too tough. Pie in life, tender care will always produce a perfect foundation. Pie in life, dig in while it's fresh. Share that creation.
Get your copy of The Pie Letters by Coletta Hewitt in softcover or ebook from thepieletters.com. That's thepieletters.com, and buy your copy in softcover or ebook from thepieletters.com, or you can go to Amazon. Love you all. God bless.
You're listening to the Real Talk School of Nursing podcast.
All right, so I gotta ask, like, do you have any funny stories about growing up, in the bakery with Coletta? I'm not gonna ask for embarrassing stories of Coletta, but some of my favorite parts of her book were parts where she talked about growing up and about her family, and there were so many things, like when she talked about being over at your grandparents' house and the lifestyle that you guys had. It had so many similarities to me, and the dynamic between your family seemed very familiar and very fun to me. Do you have any fun stories or flower fights? I don't know.
Flower fights.
I don't know.
Well, you need to remember, first there's a 5-year gap between us. So she was, she's 5 years older than me. So, we did hang out and do stuff. With Coletta and I, it was weird because Coletta and I was always the tag-along sister, to be quite honest. And they were all good with that. Her and her friends, they were all good with that. And we still, it's still like that. So when she comes here and she hangs out with some of her friends that still live up here in the area. They're like, "Oh, Michelle, come on over," and stuff. And so I was always the tag along sister, and there'd be times where they'd be doing something, and I'd be like, and they'd be, "Shush, don't say nothing," But
they never got you into trouble, did they?
No, they never got me into trouble. No.
Did you ever get them in trouble?
No, they got in their own trouble all by themselves. I had nothing to do with any of that. But as far as the bakery, yeah, Coletta and I were up front with Mom working sales by selling stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how that went. But we used to, when we were kids, the best time in the bakery for me was when, I don't know if you go to the grocery stores during Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff, and you could see all the pies being made and all the rolls and all that stuff. Well, when you're in a bakery, a little small bakery, that was the most exciting time for me. It was the hardest for our dad because he'd have to be up even earlier than he typically would be. But when we'd get there, he'd have a whole bunch of stuff already made. But that was the funnest time, is that we would walk down to the bakery in the morning, and it would be, it would be like, 4 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning or something like that we would go down there, because we'd have to get all the orders ready for the holiday.
Oh, okay.
Because there'd be stacks and stacks of orders, and so we would go down there and Dad would have it all ready, and it was just fun just going down there, and it'd be dark out, and we'd fill all the orders out, and it was fun. So, yeah. And then Coletta and I, as far as stories with Coletta and I used to go into her room all the time and steal her clothes and wear them, but that's just sisters being sisters.
Sister stuff, yeah. There's 4 years, 4 years between my older sister and I, and then there's 3.5 years or so between my younger sister and I, and so there was 7 or almost 8 years between my two sisters. So I didn't get to see a lot of that, but I had friends who had sisters that are very close in age, and I could just imagine some of the fights, like as you guys kind of get older and you're of similar size with the she stole my sweater.
Oh. Yeah, well, I was just 5 years difference and stuff, so it wasn't
too bad, I imagine, but
no, it wasn't too bad, but it was all good. It was good.
So tell me, it's kind of picking up where we left off. Like, I've been searching for a good way to do meal prep, and it's not just for me, but for my family. Like, mm-hmm. my son has dietary needs. We were having some dietary issues with him when he was a toddler, and so we went gluten-free, and then we're back on, he can have regular gluten and regular bread and stuff now, but we're still, like, any dairy really sets him off. And so so we have, like, some specialty kind of dietary needs, and meal prep just seems like it would just be so helpful. And for nurses and many other health professionals, eating healthy can be really difficult. And it's so easy to fall into that quick and readily available food like pizza and candy and anything else that can be eaten quickly. So what are some of the things that can make using your food binder easy to use? What's the kind of things that you try to focus on within the recipes in order to make it applicable to people like me?
Well, let's put it this way. First of all, it's not, and that's the beauty of the recipes, because it's not just, it's for the whole entire family. So it's not like you're going to have, when you talk about some some people might say diet food, how it's really bland and it tastes
Right.
terrible. How can it taste good if it's low calorie? Well, it really can. And so that's one thing with my recipes is that it's not only low calorie and low carbs, but it's very flavorful. And so it's good for the whole entire family. So um, that's a challenge in itself. If someone is wanting something low calorie or just healthy, and your kids are like, ugh, like I have a twice baked cauliflower recipe. If you didn't know it was cauliflower, you would think it was twice baked potatoes. And I serve that all the time to kids, and they have no idea it's even cauliflower.
Like
So
we try to do like a meatloaf muffins or something like that, and try to like blend up carrots, into the smallest, tiniest pieces we possibly can. That boy of mine, he will winnow out those little tiny pieces of carrot. I don't even know how he does it. He'd be like, I can't tell. I have pretty darn good eyesight, and I can't tell there's anything in this. But
did he know that they were in there before?
No.
Or did he?
No, he finds them. I don't know how he does this. But yeah, he's my picky eater between the two. But like the prep and stuff like that. So talk me through how prep is different from maybe like a regular recipe book or something.
Prep. Well, I mean, it's the same. I mean, you're going to look at the recipe and you're just going to get what you need, and then you just make it. It's not any different. But I mean,
but the ingredient list, you try to simplify the ingredient list and stuff like that. So how is it, like, how's it different from, like, how do you winnow that down?
Well, you dwindle it down because we can only have, the way I do it, you can only have so many things. So like we can on the program that I am a coach for, we can only have so many condiments. So it's not like you can have, mustard, ketchup, relish, a whole bunch of stuff in a recipe, because you can only have so much to keep your calorie count down, and your carbs and your sodium and all of that stuff. So I have to make sure that, I mean, it's a hot mess when I create a recipe where I actually dream about recipes. So I'm like, God, what really sounds good is, I don't know, beef manicotti. And I'm like, okay, God, that really sounds good. How can I make that to make it healthy? And so I just get a piece of paper out and I start jotting stuff down, and then I scratch something out and I jot this down, and then I make it, and I'm like, yeah, that tasted good, or no, I need to change it here. So it's kind of a hot mess when I'm doing it.
So a lot of development goes into it.
They all turn out good, but I mean, like cauliflower pizza. Cauliflower is the new hot thing right now with a lot of people. But cauliflower pizza crust is really good. But in my binders, I not only have cauliflower pizza crust, but I have a broccoli pizza crust. I have a zucchini pizza crust. I have a zucchini roasted red pepper pizza crust.
Oh my God, that actually sounds really good.
Yeah, there's so many different things that you can do, or you can substitute pasta for zoo noodles or spaghetti squash. Or there's the miracle noodles, that all of that stuff is low carb, and it's not going to kill you around the waistline. Or it's not going to also kill you, because when you eat a lot of high carb things like that, that you get a spike, then you get a big old drop in your energy level.
So you were part of this is born through helping people with like diabetes, for example. And trying to even out and trying to keep it their blood sugar, because one of the things we fight in the ER a lot is people who come in and they're like, well, they weren't managing their blood sugar well, and they come in and they have this huge spike that just got out of control, or they're going too long between meals, and so they're dropping too low in their blood glucose and stuff like that, and so that was part of it, right?
Yeah, because you need to be eating. Okay, so I always look at it as far as throwing a log on the fire. You want to be able to put a log on the fire to keep it burning, but not have it too high or not to have it burn out because you're not putting log on the fire. It's the same thing with your food. You need to first eat first thing in the morning, but that's why you want to eat small meals. Even if you're not losing weight, you want to be able to do that during the day for that very reason, because the diabetics have it down where if you talk to one, they'll tell you that yeah, that's how they eat. You need to eat small meals more frequently through the day, probably small meals every 2.5 to 3 hours, because that evens out your blood sugar level.
I really like that imagery.
That's the best way to do it.
I really like that imagery. Just like, it's the locomotive, though, and you're just you don't want to shovel a bunch of coal into the fire, a bunch of wood into the fire all at once, and or starve the engine. You want to just keep it running nice and steady.
Yep. And if you do it where a lot of people do, and I was at fault of this too, and I see it all the time where you're really busy, like you guys in the ER, where you maybe eat breakfast in the morning and then you may go 5, 6, 7 hours before you eat again. What happens is that probably all the time, right? So what happens is that
let's slow down for a second, because let's slow down for a second. So in a normal 8 to 12 hour shift, there is literally a decision point somewhere in that shift where a nurse will go, okay, bathroom or food, and you can only do one. And so and that's where that quicker stuff that you can just you had some, what was it? It was you had some wraps that had like sesame seeds and stuff like that on the outside. Was it a chicken wrap recipe?
Yeah.
That I saw? Oh my gosh. That just seems, looking through that recipe just seemed so, it was something where it's like, I can grab that out of a container. I can eat that.
Why are you going to the bathroom?
Not in the bathroom.
No,
not in the
bathroom,
but
while you're headed to the bathroom.
I'm gonna grab it next to the nurse's station. I'm gonna shove it in my mouth, and I can eat it on the fly, and not have to choose between food and bathroom. And I need to make a meme for that. Like somebody's hand on a door handle or something like that, and be like, okay, food or bathroom.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can do both. If you have something that you've prepared ahead of time, you can have that and not make the choice between the two, because you have something healthy and quick that you can grab that, eat that, and then go to the bathroom, and you can kill two birds with one stone.
Perfect. All right, so let's just let's take a break here, and then when we come back, I want to hear a little bit more, because going through your website, well, we'll catch up on that. Let's talk about some of the things on your website when we come back. Are you tired of the same old badge reel? Do you have to wear the same scrub color as everyone else? Are your undershirts boring and kinda stinky after wearing your lucky shirt through 5 in a row 12s? You can wear your personality in other ways. Go to badgeladybynerdwear.com and check out her massive selection. Tell her you're a Real Talk School of Nursing podcast listener and use the promo code REALTALK20 at checkout for 20% off your order. Expect 2 to 3 weeks for custom orders, and a few days depending on her actual job schedule, because she's a real nurse, to get your badges made and shipped. I know you'll treat her like your best friend at clinicals, so go to badgeladybynerdwear.com and order the coolest custom and original badge reels out there. Go to badgeladybynerdwear.com and use the promo code REALTALK20 for 20% off your order. That's badgeladybynerdwear.com and use the promo code REALTALK20 for 20% off your order. All right, so welcome back. So let's talk about some of the system and some of your program. I wanted to talk about like what a hack is, and because on your website, I forget what the website is called. Can you remind me what the website is?
www.foodiequeen.com.
And it's foodie, so it's FOODI, no E. Don't go there, people. Foodie Queen with just an I in the middle.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I click onto this hacks, and the first picture that comes up is German chocolate ice cream and brownie. And what if you are listening to this podcast right now, stop the podcast, go to this website and click on the little off menu hacks and look through this. Oh my god. This and then the next one down, which is makes me drool even more. It says waffle with maple bacon syrup.
I know.
You are speaking my language. Waffles, bacon, and syrup. That's like 8 of my 6 food groups, right there. Bacon,
well,
bacon is
better with bacon.
Oh God, everything is. I love bacon so much. I love it so much. Chocolate peanut butter pie. So tell me about hacks. Tell me, because this is part of your plan. This is part of the program that you do, and I know you can't talk about because of licensing and stuff like that. But how could someone get onto your plan, even though you can't talk about it by name without it going through corporate and stuff like that? But how could somebody connect up with you in order to learn more about the program that you help manage and that you're a coach for?
Yeah, so the recipe binders are separate from what I do. I mean, it's just part of the program.
Mm-hmm.
So they could, I mean, in all honesty, they could just call me, or they could text me if they wanted to, and I could give them information on the program. But when you get onto my Facebook or my website, there's also a link somewhere on there where you can join my Facebook page, which has over, I think it's 27,000 people that are on my Facebook recipe page.
Goodness.
Yeah, and that'll, somewhere in there, I think that they may talk about the program, and then you can find out about it. But you could also just call me, and I'd be more than happy to answer any questions. So back to the hack. So basically, we were talking earlier about a fueling. That is one of the things that you have 5 times a day is some kind of fueling. So it might be, like I said, a bar or a shake or something like that. So that particular item that you saw with the brownie, that's considered a fueling. And then that ice cream is made out of one of the fuelings, which is basically pudding. And then I added some other stuff, some almond milk and some other stuff, and then made ice cream. So a hack basically is something that is I make totally different. Like we have mashed potatoes that I can convert by adding some other stuff and make bagels. So that's what we're doing. That's what's considered a hack, is you're having one thing and changing it into something totally different. Does that make sense?
Yes. So like but I look at this, I'm a very big proponent of. So when I talk about the show, I talk about there's more to school, there's more to nursing school than just content. And what I talk a lot about is how the things outside of school, it's the mental game, it's the family support, it's all of those things that happen outside of school that have so much effect on school and making it through. And that applies to if you're a professional. Your outside life affects your professional life. It just does. And I look at this waffle with maple bacon syrup. Holy crap. It looks so delicious. But it's not. Food isn't just something that you put in your mouth. There's a mental aspect to it. And we all, I think we all need, those little, I don't know, those little motivational, I mean, when you talk about fuel, I don't think just in my mind. I don't think about just physical fuel, fuel for my physical body, but food is something that takes. There's a psychological aspect to food as well.
Yeah, and that's a lot of times that's the downside of it, because I think a lot of people were raised where. Oh, I mean, we were raised where you clean everything off your plate.
Yes, I am. So
you have that.
Oh, I still feel so guilty. Like I can still hear my grandmother's voice in my head. It was like, "Are you part of the clean plate club?"
Yeah.
Oh, I still
Yeah.
struggle with that.
I remember one time looking at my mom and I didn't want to eat what we were eating. I don't remember if it was soup or what it was. And I looked at her and she said something to me and I said, well, can't we just put this in an envelope and send it off to the poor people? And it's just like, no, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, except I was one of the poor people, which is one of the reasons we had to clean our plate.
Yeah, well, yeah, we were too. But so there's that where it's the clean plate club, but it's also a lot of it's emotional. That I had a client one time who, not to go into it too much, but she had some very abusive things that happened to her when she was younger. And so what she did is she was eating basically to cover up a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
And when she finally broke through and realized what was going on, and this took her probably 20, maybe 30 years, when she realized what had gone on, she was able to start losing weight, but she was able to hug her children for the first time in I don't know how many years because of the physical abuse that someone had placed upon her, and that food was a cover-up for that.
Yeah, emotional
because
eating.
She figured if she was fat, no one would touch her.
Ugh. Emotional eating is it's a really hard thing because there are so many things that we think of as like waffles and syrup, for example.
Yeah. But see,
I could be in a foul mood, and if you brought me waffles and syrup, I'm pretty sure that I'd be in a much better mood.
But you'd be happy. It's the old saying. What is that? 2 seconds on the lips is a lifetime on the hips. I mean, it only satisfies you for a little while.
Yeah.
So it's not what you eat, but also how much you eat.
Mm-hmm.
So I hate to see people that blow it, and then they feel not only bad because of X, Y, and Z, but now they feel bad because of A too, because they ate what they should not have.
Yeah. No, it's true. Like I think of some of the times where I was driving to school and I'm like I'm so hungry, I just need something to get me through, and then I'd stop for convenience because it's right there, and I'd feel better because I'm just like, all right, I feel full, and then I just go, oh God.
Yeah.
Oh God, what did I do? I immediately regret this decision.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why if you can plan ahead and you can make things that are convenient and easy for you to grab and schedule that into your week somewhere, then you won't have that. I'm not saying it's not going to be a challenge, because it always is a challenge. But if you can consciously really work at it and make that a habit, then that's all to your better. So that's a hack.
That's a hack. So can you talk to me about lean and green a little bit, because that seems to be a very prominent part of kind of what you do, and the again, I'm just gonna say, like, I'm looking at the cover page for your website, and just the healthy meals for all, from your foodie queen Michelle Gray. This is, it's beautiful. Like, did you take this picture?
That cover shot, I don't know, I did not take, but if you go on my website, or not on my website, but on my Facebook group, the picture that's on there, the cover that's on there, it's, I think it's the chicken, how do you say that? Tostitos, or it's TOSQU. I don't remember exactly how it is, with a verde sauce. And it's really good. I mean, instead of using a tortilla shell, I don't know if you've ever seen this, where you can make a cheese shell. Have you ever seen that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Instead of a taco shell, it's strictly made out of cheese. So it's the same concept that I did for that. So yeah. So a lean and green basically is a piece of protein, be it it's in different categories with carbohydrates and how much you get. So there's leanest, which would be like shrimp or scallops or tilapia or anything like that would be considered a leanest, and then a leaner would be considered something like hamburger meat at like 70 or 96%, or chicken, or something on that order. And then lean would be considered salmon.
Okay.
And then it all depends upon what you get then if you were to get a healthy fat, because there's a lot of fat in salmon, so you wouldn't need a healthy fat, but there's not much in shrimp, so you would need a healthy fat there.
Got it.
And then greens, it all divides out too, as far as the greens too. Okay. So you get 3 greens per day each. 3 greens per lean and green, and it all just depends upon what you're getting, because a leafy thing like a spinach or lettuce you get more of because it's leafy, where broccoli you get less of. You'd get a half a cup, where lettuce you get 1 cup.
Okay. So what kinds of other resources do you have on your website? Gosh, I can't remember the name of this website. What's it called again?
Foodiequeen.com.
Is there an IE in the middle, or is it just an I?
No, it's FOODIQUEEN.
Awesome.
No E.
No E. Don't go to the E people.
Foodie.
Don't go to the E people. So let's talk about the binder a little bit. So there's tons of different packets. So mm-hmm. I like the fact that you're continually you're adding packets to this binder all the time, and you have this actually kind of cute video that goes along with it. But so talk to me about some of the packets. Like there's like lean and green sets, and looks like there's lots of hacks, and so tell me about like a base. So if somebody wanted to go and buy just a basic binder from you, like their first binder, what would they do?
Okay, so first of all, the video is the 3 gals you're talking about, and yep. That is a good one to look at, because they've lost quite a bit of weight just by utilizing the recipes. It's a really good video. So the sets, I'm continually coming out with sets. I've been doing it for just about a little over 2 years. So maybe every 6 months I come up with a new set. It all just depends upon how energetic I am and how much time I get. And right now, with my foot being broken, it's kind of come to a screeching halt. But so every 6 months I'll come up with a new set. So that's why there is so many sets now. Okay. So there is 4 complete sets. But when you look at it, it can be really confusing on my site because there's so many different packets. But you could just get like set A only. And then, or you could get set B, or you could get a combination. So you just need to look at everything. Everything has, there is no duplicate recipes. So if you were to get set A, you're not going to have in set B, there's not going to be recipes that were in set A. Everything's going to be different. There's also non-seafood set too. Two different non-seafood sets. Oh. It's hard for me to imagine how people would not like seafood, because I live in the Pacific Northwest where seafood is great, but that's because it's fresh. Now, if you live over on the East Coast, it's not always fresh, so it's a little bit different. So I do have non-seafood sets for people that don't like seafood.
Okay. So what's if all right, so if I just go, I'm going to do let's see. So packet A, first set, and I just get packet A. What's included in a packet?
Well, it tells you right there. So packet A, I think it's 50 recipes, 50 lean and green recipes, and then you're going to get some document sets in there that is going to be a condiment, an extensive condiment list. It's going to have things like, on the condiment list, it's going to have ketchup, mustard. It's going to have a whole bunch, and it's like, I think 4 pages long. Okay. So you'll get some added documentation, and you'll also get a tracking sheet on our program. Like I was saying before, it's important that you stay within a certain amount of calories with condiments and all of that stuff. So the tracking sheet's really helpful. It comes with a dry erase pin, so you can mark that, and then you can erase it off if you want for each day, so you could just remark it. Okay. And especially if you're on plan, if I was your coach on plan, that you'd understand that, and that would really be helpful. The tracking sheet. So you're going to get all the recipes. You'll get 50 in that particular set. You would get 50 recipes and then a bunch of documentation. And you get a cover sheet, and you get dividers. So when you get it, I have some people that say, well, how do I divide these recipes out? They're not done. There's no index. Well, I look at it this way. If it's chicken pizza, would you put it under chicken or would you put it under pizza? So I provide you with all the elements and a divider and the dividers and stuff, and then everyone individually can put it together the way they want to. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I'm going to put it under pizza.
Yeah, well, I would too, but some people would put it under different proteins, so they would have all the chicken recipes together and all the beef recipes together. So it all just depends.
I'm gonna put all the pizza recipes first.
Right next to that ice cream one?
Right next to the waffle one. The waffle with the, oh, God. Seriously.
I don't know. You need to look at that German chocolate donut one.
Oh, gosh. You didn't
see that one, did you?
Yes, I did. I can't get past the waffle. That looks so delicious. So, all right. So, a basic, packet A, 50 recipes, and it's the whole binder or the whole binder content stuff, $43. That seems pretty reasonable, and that's pretty doable. I mean, even for a starving nursing student can probably figure this out, because the way that I figure out cost of something is ROI, or return on investment. And if I go, okay, well, if I spend a what do you call it? Not a Happy Meal. What do you call it? Whatever it's called at McDonald's, Burger King, whatever the meal things. I'll have a number 2, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Those are. I mean, it's like $10 now, and I just go, okay, well, $10. If I'm just buying the ingredients for that, that's like 6 meals versus 1 meal. Maybe not 6, but 5 meals versus 1 meal. So return on investment on $43. And I can, I push that math out a little bit further, and I go, okay, well, $43 is, it pays for itself basically in the first week.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you look at it that way, and it's something that you can always have. It's not like just that Happy Meal is only going to be there for a few minutes and then you're done. Right.
So I mean, your prices are not exorbitant. It's, the program. How do people get in contact with you? Because earlier on you said something about you wanted to, they could call you or text you or something like that. Where's a good place if somebody wanted to learn more information about your program and ask any questions or something like that? What's the best way that people can get a hold of you or get in contact with you?
Well, I guess they could text me or they could call me at 360-319-6655. And also I think it's on my website, information where people can get a hold of me, but also on my Facebook page. If you're on the Facebook page, you could just instant message me too. Okay. I have people do that all the time.
Okay. So I think probably that's I think where I'm going to direct people to the most is go to the Facebook page and go to Foodie Queen on Facebook, and if you go to Foodie Queen, I only in the middle, so foodiequeen.com, over on the right side where you have the menu list, there's Foodie Queen on Facebook. If you click on that, you can go to the group, join the group, and then you'll have access to the community, but also you'll be able to contact you through Facebook Messenger.
Right, and you'll have a lot of recipes on our Facebook page, but people need to remember that there is exclusive recipes, and I'm making them even more exclusive with the sets that come out from now on.
Okay.
Where the recipe binder, you will have recipes in there, the recipe binders, that you will not get on the Facebook page or anywhere else.
Nice. Cool. Well, this has been a very informative hour. and and I have this in my imagination that that you would walk me through this recipe, and maybe there'd be some I don't know, like Barry White music going in the background as you talk about, we're gonna slather some barbecue sauce on this chicken and stuff like that, like some Barry White music going in the background. But I'll leave that maybe for a little bit later. But so let's just so the best way to contact you is to go through your Facebook page and then go through Messenger, and then you can, and people can explore and kind of see where things are by going to foodiequeen.com. That's FOODIQUEEN.com, foodiequeen.com, and looking at the page and seeing where things go.
Yep, that they can find the recipes, and my website has just a few recipes on there, and then they could find out more on the recipe binders. And if they want to know more about the program that I coach for, then they can just get a hold of me. And they can always get a hold of me if they have any questions about the recipes too. I have people all the time that ask me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Michelle. I really appreciate your time, and I wish you all the best of luck. So I don't know if did we mention the fact that you have a broken foot in the show? I can't remember if we did or not, or if that was in our conversation before. But so.
No, we kind of touched on it. Just makes it a little bit more challenging cooking and creating recipes when I'm only on one foot hopping along. I have to really, that right there in itself is time management, where I need to look, just like preparing, I have to look and get all my ducks in a row before I even start. It's the same thing with preparing a meal.
Oh, jeez. Well, Colette told me that you were going to be, or that she was going to be there with you later on this week. So tell her hello, and thank her for me for helping connect us. I wish you all the best of luck, and I really hope that you see a nice little bump from some of my listeners onto your website and into your Facebook group.
Well, thank you for just talking to me about it and getting the word out. It's to me, it's all about helping people. It's all about just making something that's healthy and tastes good, and it's all about helping people. That's what it should be in life.
I agree. Thank you so much. I appreciate, again, I'm from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for taking some time and spending some time with me. And your family just seems so great, and I love you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. Bye now.
Bye.
Nursing Student Ground, this is Real Talk 6, ready for taxi with Romeo Papa Hotel, downwind departure. Roger, Nursing Student Ground, taxi to 31 right via Zulu. Nursing students, do you want to become an RN and think someday you'd like to be a flight nurse? How can you make this happen? What's the best flight path to make this dream, inside the dream of being an RN, a reality? If this has any interest for you, you should go out and buy the Flight Nurse Bible, a field guide to awesomeness by Robert P. Harris, BSN, RN, CFRN, CTRN, TCRN, CEN, CPEN, CNPT, CCRN. Here's Nurse Rob reading a selection from his book. You can also hear the full two-part interview with Nurse Rob from Season 4, Episodes 2.1 and 2.2, published in December 2019 on the Real Talk School of Nursing podcast.
There are billions and billions of people on this beautiful blue planet, and we are all spinning through space together for the entire term of our short lives. These facts should not depress you or make you feel small. These facts should inspire and empower you to look around the world and see the many ways you can make a positive impact with your existence. If there is a greater purpose to life, it must be to serve one another passionately and alleviate suffering. We must also attempt to live as intelligently, courageously, and joyfully as possible. Semper Fi, blue skies, Violacine deals. Oh, and one more thing, no matter what you do not walk into a tail rotor.
Nurse Rob has a great preview on the book on Amazon.com, and you can connect with him directly on LinkedIn by searching for Robert P. Harris. Check him out. Check flight path.
You're listening to the Real Talk School of Nursing podcast.
Sponsoring this segment of the Real Talk School of Nursing podcast is Mike and Bonnie's Snow Shovel and Driveway Salt Emporium. You know, when the temperature drops fast and rain turns to ice in your driveway, which is then covered by 6 inches of snow, you need 2 things: snow shovels and driveway salt. Luckily, there's one place you can get both of those things. They have everything. They have all of your favorite trenchers, cleanouts, border spades, cap rocks, post hole diggers, grain scoops, and hand trowels. That's right. Everyone from the toddler in a sandbox to the fashionable urbanite and the sun-hardened farmer. Mike and Bonnie's Snow Shovel and Driveway Salt Emporium can cover all of your scooping, transferring, farming, digging, and shoveling needs. So, stop by Mike and Bonnie's Snow Shovel and Driveway Salt Emporium off Route 44, where the only thing that's deeper than the holes you can dig with their great shovels is their discounts. Bring your receipt from Nick's Horseless Diner and get an extra 5% off of your purchase. Oh, wait, this just in from Stuffy's, where all the food is served by waiters and waitresses on horseback, that if you bring your hoofprint marked placemats, you can get an extra 10% off of your purchase. I asked if this was in addition to the 10% you get off for being a Real Talk School of Nursing podcast listener, and all I got in response was... I'm not entirely sure what that means, so let's get back to the show. Okay, guys, so thank you again for sticking with us through this schedule and everything else. I had a bunch of stuff going on over the weekend. My uncle had died and so on. Saturday there was a funeral, and of course this is my work weekend, so that whole thing is all going on in the background, and I really do appreciate you guys sticking with the show and sticking through all the stuff. So let's go through the giveaway rules for the Yeti coolers and the Camino bag. So I'm going to continue to take entries on the first of the 3 items until March 31st. So available now is the Yeti Hopper Flip 8, the Yeti Hopper Flip 12, and the Yeti Camino bag. And I'm going to be doing it on a first-come, first-served format. So if you get your name drawn in this round, you get to choose which one of those 3 that you want. So the rules for Facebook: if you are on Facebook, like and follow the page. Yeah, I get it. The whole thing is kind of screwed up, but like or follow the page. Either one is fine. Share the episode post with one of the Yeti cooler pics. Tag us at Real Talk Nursing and use the hashtag Real Talk Nursing. And then lastly, tag 2 friends. And yeah, I know, I get it. Tagging friends for stuff like that can be kind of annoying and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, these are $200 coolers. These are really expensive. These are coming out of my own pocket, and I really want to share them with you. I carry mine every single day. If you're on Instagram, follow us on Instagram, share the episode post in your story, and if you could please post one of the cooler pics in your feed, in your actual feed, so it sticks around, the whole time the giveaway is going on. That would really help. I would really appreciate that. Remember to tag us at Real Talk Nursing, and use the hashtag Real Talk Nursing. And then again, I'll apologize. Tag 2 friends, either on the episode post, on my episode post, or also tag 2 other people. And I would really appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for your continued support, for your continued listenership, and your continued interaction. I couldn't do it without you guys. I'm humbled, and I'm very appreciative of all you guys. So thank you. And let's end the show for the week. And coming up is an interview with Nurse Matt for episode 80 and 81, so season 4, episode probably 8 and 9, because we both got to talk in a while, and so I have to split it up between 2 episodes. So this month should have 3 total episodes, and it should be really great. I hope you guys enjoy this show. Again, thank you, Foodie Queen Michelle Gray, and look forward to hearing from you guys over the next few weeks, as we keep going through the month of March. All right, take care, guys, and stay safe. Bye. This Real Talk School of Nursing podcast is a Real Talk production. This podcast is dedicated in loving memory of my brother, First Lieutenant Justin Smith, Blood and Steel.
Sic semper tyrannis, facta non verba.
Good night, Steve Cannon. Wherever you are. Annyeong kasayo. Now you go home.
If you like the show, you can support us directly at www.patreon.com/realtalknursing and gain benefits such as early content, shout-outs, special swag, and more. You should write in to realtalknursing@gmail.com or use Facebook Messenger, or contact us through Instagram or Twitter to share your experiences, ask questions, and give your feedback. Thank you for supporting our friends, affiliates, and sponsors. Thank you as well to everyone who started following us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. More listeners means more and better shows. Make sure to share the show with your classmates, and especially those underclassmen. Let's give a hand up to those who are coming behind us. If you're new, welcome to our community of fun, engaged, and supportive nursing students and nurses. Don't forget to reach out and tell us if you have any announcements for graduations, good grades, difficult tests, friends you want to congratulate, and your announcement will be featured on our show. If you like the show, the Real Talk School of Nursing podcast is available on iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Libsyn Web Player, Stitcher, YouTube, Spotify, and SoundCloud. So, go to wherever you download podcasts, subscribe, rate us, review us, write into the show, and smash that subscribe button. Remember, leave only 5-star reviews, because that's the only ratings that count to get us noticed by more nursing students.
The Real Talk School of Nursing podcast is a holy moly, I can't believe you're still listening to this podcast.